All right, ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes from now, Prime Minister Modi is going to be outside the UN General Assembly headquarters, the UN headquarters there in New York, iconic building, and on the lawns outside, the gardens outside, thousands of people are about to be performing yoga on this, the 9th Yoga International Day. Now, joining us now on the broadcast is Riya Sharma, who's a yoga instructor, Shelly Kaur, Hemlata Sharma is also with us, Dilraj Preet Kaur, she happens to be the Uttarakhand government's yoga brand ambassador, she's joining us in the broadcast as well, and Gopal Delanta Majalu is joining us as well. He is performing yoga along with the hundreds, if not thousands of people at the UNGA as we speak. So Gopalji, let me just hop straight across back to you. You've got lots of friends and family and teammates around you. The event starts in about half an hour's time. So how's it going?
After the big line and security checks, we all inside now. We are in front of United Nations, where the event is going to happen. Balakrishnaji, can you just zoom the camera and rotate it once so that,
Yeah, so you can also rotate the camera into landscape mode. We'll be able to see a lot more.
Yeah. Okay, yes.
Yeah, there we go. Looking good.
Yeah, so a lot of people joined here and still people are getting into...
As you can see here, this is the United Nations building. So we are inside the North Lawn area. And this is where our Prime Minister Modi ji is going to perform the yoga. Within next 10 to 15 minutes, the yoga session will start. Almost more than 2,000 people are here in this area. People are from different countries, different nationality. All are here to perform the yoga.
It's looking pretty exciting, and the weather is a bit cloudy, but it's cleared so far. So hopefully we'll have
weather is perfectly fine for this yoga event. It's extraordinary. People are all ready to perform the yoga, and again today's this year's International Yoga Day theme is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. As Modi ji has always said, it's one earth, one family, and one future for all of us, and all are ready to do the yoga.
Okay, I must appreciate the organizers picking these bright yellow yoga mats. So they are literally, it's a sea of yellow outside the... Yeah, go ahead, Gopalji.
Yeah, good thing you came up with this topic. The bright yellow yoga mat is sponsored by Bharat Electronics.
Oh,
and,
lovely.
As Modi ji has mentioned in the past, it has a tagline saying "Make in India." It's not made in India. It has a tagline called "Make in India." So that's a good theme line. And this is more like a gift souvenir for all of the participants.
Yeah.
After yoga performance, after people perform yoga, they can take it as a gift souvenir.
Okay,
for this
Gopalji, you were mentioning that these are not just people from New York. You're of course from New Jersey, and people have come in, from many cities this morning.
Yes, not only it's all mostly in the east coast of United States. I am from New Jersey. I could see my friends coming from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and many other places. Yes.
And do you now have an idea, sir, of what asanas you'll be performing?
Predominantly, I think Surya Namaskar and a few asanas will be performing. Yes, definitely there will be a kind of leaders will be in front of us, and there will be a big,
okay, and how long is the session supposed to be, sir? About half an hour, 45 minutes?
It's from 8 to 9.
Yes,
1 hour session.
About an hour. And what's the vibe around Narendra Modi? He's of course been to New York before. He had a huge diaspora event at Madison Square Gardens. He's had one in Houston. He's about to have another one in Washington in a couple of days' time. What's the vibe around PM Modi?
Yes, definitely. It's a very enthusiastic and vibrant environment when we hear the name of Modi ji. And of course, I had an opportunity to attend this Madison Square Garden event. After that, this is the second event I am attending. It's not only with the Indian diaspora. If you talk to anyone, our American friends, yes, everybody heard Modi ji's name and the great work he has done and the leadership he provided.
How's the press coverage in the US, sir, when you're reading the newspapers and watching the cable news? Is this getting press coverage? Because oftentimes in the past, the Americans didn't take, Indian visits very seriously.
No, absolutely. It is well covered. Yes, this event as well as his visit in Washington tomorrow, that is going to happen. I could see that sitting in my cafeteria, the big news headlines about the Modi's visit and all coverage. In my office cafeteria, when I watch the TV, I could see that. Definitely there is a good coverage.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, sir, what I'll do is, so I'll just touch base with you one more time before the event starts, coming back to you in just 1 minute. Let me quickly get our guests here also. Hemlata ji is with us on the telecast. Hemlata ji, you know, it's of course International Yoga Day. The reason we are live here from, you know, I'm assuming all parts of India and from New York is because Prime Minister Modi happens to be in New York, but all of you guys have been performing yoga in various cities this morning.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if Hemlata ji can hear us or not. Ma'am, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, how was your yoga session this morning, ma'am?
From Jaipur, I came in Delhi, and in Ghaziabad, I was having my very big workshop with 5,000 yoga sadhaks and lovers. So early morning, really, we enjoyed a lot, and that was awesome vibration and awesome energy, very positive environment, and everybody was so much enthusiastic to celebrate the International Day of Yoga.
Okay,
So
okay.
it was like.
Okay, so let me get Dilraj ji also into the Dilraj ji. You know, we of course see now, you know, all our political leaders, all our celebrities, international cities, ambassadors, embassies, consulates, everywhere in the world yoga is happening. But have enough Indians gotten into it, sir? Into it, ma'am?
Actually, good evening, and visited in the Yoga Festival in Moda. So it is happening Uttarakhand function. So I really enjoyed it, and I had one yoga demonstration. The weather of Almora and the vibration of Uttarakhand Devbhumi. So we really enjoyed it. Our CM sir, Dhami came here, and we did yoga with them. And we did,
Okay.
so
All right. Dilraj ji, unfortunately, ma'am, we can't hear you or see you very well. I'm assuming there's a connectivity issue. So what you're watching on your screens is, of course, is what's been happening this morning because, you know, we are focusing on New York because that's where the Prime Minister happens to be. He's on a 3-day US visit and a gala event is being happening there. But of course, it's evening here in India and it's 7 in the morning there in the US in New York. So evening yoga in India, Yoga Day in India has already happened and you've seen the visuals of all across the country. So of course, yoga for one day is to recognize and focus. But of course, for people who practice yoga and want to take it seriously, it has to become a routine part of life, if not a daily part of life. The very interesting observation we've had from our guests all over the world has been the fact that a lot of people who come from India to other parts of the world are perhaps not as familiar with yoga as the local people are now becoming. Which of course is fascinating. We've been having the conversation of not only popularizing yoga around the world, but also in India. Millions of people, I assume, are now regular practitioners. It will be a lovely study on how the popularity of yoga has soared, not only in India, across the world. I think somebody should do that study and do that survey and get on it. Let me get Shelly into this conversation. Shelly, so, you know, tell us your journey with yoga. When did you start? You know, and how has it been life-changing for you?
Hello. For me, yoga has been a part of my life from a long time now. I have been practicing yoga and teaching yoga for many years. But life-changing event came into my life when I was diagnosed. Despite practicing yoga all these years, I was diagnosed with cancer. And initially it was very difficult for me. There were difficult times, but then with the help of yoga, I think with the modern help of obviously both modern medicine and yoga, I was able to come out of this disease successfully and with a very positive mindset. Because cancer treatment not only physically disturbs you, it emotionally and mentally spoils you a lot. So with the help of yoga, since I think I was blessed to have this practice with me, which helped me to come out of it successfully in life. And I'm really I suggest everybody to make it a part of their routine, because in life we are not sure when we can be encountered with difficult situations. So to have a good mindset is all you require, and yoga practice helps me to come out of it successfully.
Okay, fascinating, ma'am. And so what was the aspect when of course there's a physical challenge, and I'm told Hodgkin's lymphoma is, and congratulations to you for your mental resolve and physical resolve, but it's and the family around you as well. But it's a physical challenge, but as you mentioned, it's a mental challenge as well. And a lot of people whom I have spoken to say that yoga is a mental exercise as well. Explain how that works, ma'am.
See, not only mental, it is obviously mental and physical exercise both. But in my case, when I was going through this treatment, and the physical and emotional the aspects of this treatment were very difficult. So with the help of yoga, with the help of pranayam and asanas, I was able to focus more into myself, because it's all about mind. If you are able to control your mind, you can control everything. So with the help of these pranayam and asanas, I was able to focus more into my own physical and mental emotional being. So that is how it helped me to come out of it.
Okay, all right. I'm going to get Gopalji back in. We have live shots coming in, of course, from New York, where the event is about to start in about 10 minutes time. And the PM tweeted about this early this morning. It's the main event. The PM has diplomatic events happening and meetings happening immediately after that. He leaves from New York to Washington this evening, the US time, Eastern time. And then, of course, there's dinner with a state dinner at the White House with the US President and his wife, who are going to be hosting Prime Minister Modi. I'm going to try to get Hemlata ji back into this conversation. Hemlata ji, how did your journey with yoga begin, ma'am?
It was like a turning point of my life. Earlier I was in IT field and I was IT HOD, and when I joined yoga, it's like completely it has changed my persona, my way of thinking, and the way I'm living my life. So I must say that yoga is not only working on your physical body, it's really working on your mental body and your emotional body and your spiritual body. You become so positive, you become so enthusiastic, you become so happy, and you start, yoga is to awaken yourselves. You start awareness. Whatever you are thinking, whatever you are reacting, how you are responding, and yoga works a lot on your complete personality. So I must say that yes, yoga completely changed my life. Earlier, yes, I was also diagnosed with a brain tumor, but with the help of the pranayama and that all things, I really overcame with this problem. And I'm enjoying my life, and day by day, with the yoga practice. Yoga is not only the asana, yoga is a complete, it's a very big science. So we have to adopt yogic lifestyle, means how you are living in day-to-day life. That really brings, yoga brings awareness in that. So I must say that because of the yoga power, because of the yoga energy, I become so much enthusiastic and positive and always happy, and I start living my life.
Okay, well, you're sounding it, and of course yoga is not a medical cure, but as our guests are telling us, in dealing with the mental and physical challenges that come, it is aided and abetted their efforts in their lives. Maybe it will help you or a loved one as well in a similar capacity. Let me try to get in Dilraj Preet Kaur back into this telecast. Ms. Kaur, if you can hear us, what has been your journey with yoga, ma'am? When did you start?
Actually, I have started doing yoga when I was 4 years old. So it's been 22 years that I am into yoga. and just because of the thing that I was in competitions, I am world champion in yoga. So just because of that, I performed in one function that was in 2015. That was first yoga day. So the chief minister of Uttarakhand announced that I will be the brand ambassador of Uttarakhand. And right now, I am serving myself as a brand ambassador in Uttarakhand. So I think it's a beautiful journey. So I think it's beautiful just because that I am serving myself in a good way.
Okay, let me quick. I'm going to touch base once again in New York with Gopalji very shortly. But let me get Miss Shelly Kaur back into this conversation. Shelly ji, what has changed in yoga? Because it's thousands of years old. We are now on the 9th year of the International Yoga Day. So what has changed? Has it become a phenomenon? Has it become an industry? What is different today than it was 10 years ago?
What I see, before this International Yoga Day was celebrated, yoga was actually not. It was foreigners. The Western world was taking yoga away from us. Not many people, they were practicing yoga. There were a lot of people who were getting into other form of fitnesses and other form of and not going for yoga. So I think that the Western world was kind of capturing the yoga from us. But with the introduction of this International Yoga Day, we have brought the yoga legacy back into our nation. Now I see there are a lot of people now, they are getting into yoga practice. We some 10 years back, we hardly had very few yoga teachers in our city, but now I can see a lot of people are getting into it. Initially, like few years back, it was kind of getting vanished from the country, but now I see that we have this International Yoga Day has brought the yoga
but
back
how
into
does
our
it really
nation.
matter, ma'am?
So
Because
now the world is seeing.
we see all the ministers are out there and political leaders and celebrities are out there. But there are millions of people in this country, and I'm assuming that yoga can have equally good health benefits. But like many fitness regimes, it becomes difficult, and we have the irony here that the popularity abroad seems to be increasing as well. But what about the popularity in India? So my question to you is are we seeing now tens of thousands of people out in the parks,
Of course,
instructors,
of course.
people taking classes,
Yes,
going to
yes.
gyms and performing yoga? Is it changing rapidly?
Yes, it is changing rapidly. I can see, it's a Hindi में कहते हैं ना जो दिखता है वही बिकता है. So like when we see a lot of people now, politicians and the Bollywood stars, they're doing yoga. So it is getting definitely popularity in the nation. Many people are coming, forward and accepting this as a part of their routine. It is.
Okay, so let me try Ria once again. Ria, if you can hear us, is there a coolness factor to yoga amongst the younger generation?
Yes, of course. I must say that youngsters are more getting attracted towards yoga profession, and they like to shift themselves from other corporate sectors, from IT sectors, as Himlata said. Then I must say that most of the youngsters now wanted to make their career in yoga field, and they want to be a model, like a full package of healthy life. So I must say that people are getting more attracted towards the yoga, towards making their career in yoga as a yoga trainer.
Okay, but in terms of when we say yoga trainer, what is yoga trainer? Can you be employed today and make a healthy living? Okay, one has to make a living also. Practice for people to perform, but what about the people who are the trainers? Are they making a living out of this? This has become a profession. Riyaji.
Yes, of course. I myself, as a yoga trainer, as a research scholar, as a student, I give myself at least 1 to 2 hours in my daily life for my personal practice, as well as I motivate most of the time. I motivate my clients as well. I motivate my members as well. I motivate my students as well to get more time for their regular practice. And I'm also myself do my practice daily at least for 1 hour, at least for 1 hour.
Okay.
So making my more maintained.
Okay, so Riyaji, when you see that yoga is being performed in Cambodia, in Japan, in Australia, in London, in New York, in Washington, okay, what does that make you feel like? What does that make you think about?
See, if we look at the history of India, then we see that yoga originated in India. This ancient practice began when various yogis started performing yoga. Yoga translates to union and discipline, and it is derived from Sanskrit language. And most of the time, I also take reference of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Garen Sahita, Hatha Yoga Pratipika, and I say lot of shlokas and translate it into the Hindi and motivate my students as well. But it feels very good that all over the world are adopting our culture, our yoga. So it feels very nice.
Okay, let me get Hemlata ji back into this conversation. Hemlata ji, so let's talk about the event which is happening in New York. You know, so your event has happened in the morning already. So this is the event that PM Modi is doing early morning in New York. What's the significance of doing it in New York, ma'am?
So it's a International Day of Yoga. So to mark that it is really International Day of Yoga, Modi ji is celebrating there. So it's becoming International Day, and every person of this world are celebrating Yoga Day. So it is a way to, as we say that as a Modi ji slogan that Har Ghar Angan Yog, Ghar Ghar Yog. So this is the motto with this aim. So Har Ghar Angan Yog, and we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So our complete world is our family. So everywhere it should be celebrated, yes, with our respected.
But Hemlata ji, so some people would think that this is it's a very Indian thing. Okay, it's still or it's a Hindu thing. Are we? Is it transcending regions and religions?
If we are going to connect yoga with any religion, we are making yoga very short. Yoga is not that. Yoga is the way of life. Yoga teaches us how to live your life. It's really the art of life. So everyone, if someone is adopting the yogic lifestyle, so it's complete. They can understand what potential they have inside and what possibilities in their life they can make them possible. So yoga is, we should not connect yoga with a religion. Yoga is before the religion. Yoga was there, okay, from Adi. So we can.
Okay, just stay with us. Some reactions are coming in of people participating from New York. Let's listen in.
Yeah. Because what are your thoughts on Yoga Day today? Because also we're going to be present here. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm extremely excited to be here at the UN headquarters. The energy is electrifying. There are so many people. I think thousands of people are over here. And we're going to get to do yoga. I'm wearing, don't let this jacket fool you. I'm going to be taking out the jacket and I'm wearing my yoga clothes and I'm going to be doing some yoga. I'm going to be following Prime Minister Modi this time. I've been to a couple of yoga events in the past at the UN because the World Yoga Day has been celebrated over here since 2014 when Prime Minister Modi made it happen. And, and it's always been good, but this time it's going to be really huge and amazing.
Hey, Prime Minister Modi is going to be here.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Yoga Day you'll be participating in?
Well, first let me say hello to all of my family in India and certainly to all of the ANI family. Thank you for having me on. Sahil, it's such a great morning. First of all, it's beautiful weather in the Big Apple, so it's a great morning here in the city, and what a wonderful honor to be a part of this great day with the Prime Minister, celebrating his visit to the United States and certainly all of the wonderful work that he is doing across the world. I'm so looking forward to seeing the Prime Minister spending today and this week also in DC and then performing on Friday for the Prime Minister. We're going to have a great week, Sahil.
Right, Ricky, great guy, multi Grammy Award winner, and he's back in New York clearly for this event, as a lot of other people are. And The shots you're watching, of course, it's a sea of yellow yoga mats. At least 2,000 people, maybe more, are going to be part of this event, which is going to be starting very, very shortly. So let me quickly take the opportunity and get Shelly ji back into this conversation. Shelly ji, sorry, just we were taking some reactions in from New York. So let me then put that into a question for you. When we see yoga, there are a lot of cynical people who view it with suspicion or with satire, that it's a bit of a joke, or indeed it's some sort of cultural imperialism, or it's a Hindu thing, or at the very least it's an Indian thing. It's not something that's, that makes sense or is cool for us. Has that perception changed?
Yes, definitely there are few people who take it as a Hindu thing or make fun of it, but I think there is a very little and a very small section of the people who think so they can be ignored. Most of the people do not take it that ways. It is definitely not focused to any religion. Yoga is spiritual, and we should not attach any sort of religion with it. It is spiritual, and spirituality has no boundaries. It has no no religion attached to it. So
okay, so what do you make
about definitely there is a
so,
small section of
so what do you make about the event in New York, in terms of popularizing yoga? It's nothing new, but there's a very concerted effort by the government of India in making sure that this yoga day thing started. It got a UN resolution, that it happens in all our embassies and consulates, that a lot of people get involved with this globally. Why is the government involved, and how is that really going to help?
See, like I said that earlier, I said ki yoga, West has already they have accepted yoga, and there are a lot of people doing it. But for us, being an Indian, this is an Indian thing. So yoga should be popularized and should be preached all over the world. But the roots should be from India. So this event, whatever efforts the government is putting, I think they are tremendous. It is because of these efforts we are bringing the glory back into our country. So we want see, this is a practice. We don't want to keep it with ourselves. We want the world to enjoy it and to cherish it, but it belongs to us. And
okay,
so
all right. So Shelly ji, what is your preferred and go-to yoga routine? What asanas do you perform regularly?
For me, whenever I am in hurry or I don't have much time, I make sure that I do Surya Namaskar every day. If I am in big hurry, I do 10 set of Surya Namaskars. So Surya Namaskar for me is the go-to do, which I do everywhere.
All right.
And
Ria, what about you? What's your go-to yoga asana? Can Riya ji hear us? If she can, ma'am, what's your go-to yoga asana?
Alright. So see, actually, I have scheduled myself in a various forms. Like for Monday, it's core yoga for me. For Tuesday, most of the time I do stretching, splits, Hanumanasana, and for Wednesday, I do basketball yoga. For Thursday, I do ball yoga, which gives me a lot of stretchings, and it gives us inches loss as well. And for Friday, most of the time I do belt yoga, which is very beneficial for more flexibility. And next day, Saturday, I do power yoga, which is very beneficial for both.
Right, interesting. Okay, just stay with me, ma'am. The visual that, of course, you see on your screens are coming straight from New York, and we are about to see that event kicking off as we speak over there. And so it's about going to be just under an hour. It's going to start in a few minutes. Prime Minister Modi will be there performing the yoga asanas along with a couple of thousand other people. You can see the stiff breeze on the seashore of New York City, right under the UN building where these lawns are. and the yellow caps and the yoga mats, and everybody's ready. And this, of course, happens to be the same place where you can clearly see where the Gandhi statue was installed a few years ago. Riyaji, sorry ma'am, we just interrupted you and for a second there. You were telling us about your weekly yoga routine.
Yeah, so I was saying that on Saturday, most of the time I do power yoga. It gives me a lot of energy. It makes me more happy, and it boosts up my confidence level, and it also boosts up my stamina as well. So it is very nice for me to perform yoga every day and to try something new each and every day. So it's very good for me.
Okay, just stay with me. Shelly ji, so I don't know exactly the asanas that are going to be performed, but for people who want to get started, doesn't make a difference where in the world they are. What do you recommend to people who are starting off? How do you get into the yoga routine?
Definitely, you should first of all go and join some good yoga classes. That will be very helpful. But if you want to practice at home, I think one must start with pranayam, the basic Alom Vilom, Kapalbhati. These are the basic pranayams which we can start, and then some. Like I said, Surya Namaskar, it is easy to memorize, and if you start practicing it once, you can start it with anytime, anywhere at home.
Okay, so pranayam, Surya Namaskar is not as easy as it sounds. It requires a lot of physical strength, especially for the poses which you need to hold.
That is why I said you need a good instructor with you, because it can be performed with everybody with the slight changes which obviously a good instructor will tell you. So that is how you can start.
Okay, Hemlata ji back with us. Hemlata ji, as we just waiting for this event in New York to kick off, what is your yoga routine, ma'am? You are of course teaching yoga, but you yourself are a practitioner. So what is your go-to asana?
See, early morning at 4, I'm doing practice for 1 hour, 4 to 5. So it's my daily yoga routine, daily charging myself early in the morning for 24 hours. So yes, definitely in yoga practice, I'm including good warm up, and then Surya Namaskar along with a good coordination of breath and with awareness, and yes, doing asana, sitting, supine, and standing, and all the asanas I'm performing for my practice to make my body more fit. And apart from that, after doing good yoga practice, I'm going for deep relaxation to charge myself, and I'm doing on daily basis. I'm taking to increase my prana level, to increase my vital force. I'm going for pranayama practice. And yes, dhyana practice, meditation, I'm taking daily dose to remain fit mentally and emotionally. So it's my daily routine for 1 hour.
Okay.
I'm doing yoga practice.
Okay, and what do you recommend to most people? Should it be a daily routine? Should it be a twice weekly, 3 times weekly, whenever possible? What do you recommend to people?
It should be daily practice. It should be. Yoga we should adopt as a lifestyle. Yes, it should be. Yoga should be a very important and very much, very much important part of our life, daily life routine. So yes, definitely on daily basis, as we are charging our mobile, we should charge ourselves early in the morning, so that 24 hours we can remain happy, enthusiastic, and yes.
Okay, Hemlata ji, for people who are trying to start or want to start, what do you recommend? How should they get about starting?
See, if they are beginners, they can start initially. They can start with 30 to 40 minutes workout. In that 10 to 15 minutes, they can go for asanas practice, and on daily basis, they can go for 5 minutes for pranayama practice, or for 10 minutes and 5 minutes daily. They should work on their mental health. So it's like that. Initially, they can start so that they can understand what potential they have in their body and mind, and they will recognize their possibilities and their stamina, their flexibility, and automatically when you will do the yoga practice, by the time, with the days, gradually it will start working at all the levels, physical, mental, emotional, stability, at your working profile. So you feel more energetic all the times. So yes, we should start in that way.
Okay, I think Dilraj Preet is with us back. Dilraj ji, what is your daily yoga routine?
Actually, I started my yoga with my online yoga classes. So with that online classes, I do yoga with them. And then after that, I go to my university where I'm right now working. So after that, in evening, and I again started taking classes. So this is my yoga routine, and in that time period, I do practice myself. And this is just for half an hour or 1 hour, which I give to myself in a day. So just because that it's a shortage of time that I am working right now, that is why I just give myself one and or a
Okay,
half hour daily.
and how do you
So,
recommend to people who want to get started or are planning to get started?
pardon, please.
For people who want to get started, ma'am, how should they go about doing it?
Yeah, they should have start with the beginner level. Some people want to start with the advanced level. That is very dangerous for their body and for their health also. But I just recommend that just start with from the beginner level, then go to the intermediate, then go to advanced. Don't start with the advanced level because sometimes we face some injuries when we started from the advanced level. There are so many asanas in beginner level. Those are like Bhadrasan,
Okay,
Paschimottanasana, and yeah. So we should have start with beginner level.
okay. Let me get Hemlata ji back into this. Hemlata ji, you mentioned you were, in the corporate side of things, and at what point of time did you go to your family that no, not only as a practitioner, I want to make this my profession?
Pardon, would you please repeat again?
Yeah, we'll try to get these audio connections sorted out because we'll have very difficult having a telecast like this. Let me quickly just repeat to our viewers what they're watching on your screens. That is the lawns outside the UN headquarters in New York. We're expecting Prime Minister Modi a few minutes from now. A lot of people have already gathered there. This is going to be a live event. It's going to be an hour or so long. And after this, the PM has scheduled meetings with world leaders at the UN. And subsequently, of course, he'll be flying to Washington for that dinner in the White House with Joe Biden. Let me get Shelly Kaur into this conversation. Shelly ji, one is a practitioner, a person who should do it, which should include all of us. Then, of course, the person who chooses to make this a profession, that this is going to be my livelihood. At one point of time, it would have been an uncommon thing to do. How did you have that discussion with family or friends, or think about yourself that I want to do this professionally?
I think it's actually a change which we are seeing in the society. Like initially, it was not a professional thing, but like a lot of people are now taking it as professional thing. So I don't see anything wrong in it because why not? That is how we will, have more and more people into it, and people will professionally, and when you do something, if you get rewarded for something, you do that thing in a more better way. So for me, it was not very difficult to convince my family to do it, because they were all very happy, because if yoga itself is a very good thing which you do for yourself.
Okay. All right.
And when you take it as a profession altogether, there is nothing sone pe suhaga,
Okay, why not? It's good health, and it becomes a living, and of course you're doing a good deed by teaching other people as well. So it takes a lot of those boats. The event in New York, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, has started. Let's listen into what's happening there on the ground.
Scriptures, and it loosely translates to the concept that the whole world is one family. Yoga's popularity has exploded to every corner of the globe, and it only continues to grow. We well know that yoga embodies unity, unity of mind or consciousness and body, thought and action, restraint and fulfillment, harmony between humanity, our human family, and all of nature. A holistic approach to health, well-being, as well as experiencing a sense of joy, balance, and peace. Yoga is not only about physical asanas, poses, or just exercise, although we're very familiar with the multitude of benefits that it can have on one's physical, mental, and even spiritual health. The fullness and richness of yoga is about discovering a sense of oneness, oneness between one's inner consciousness and the external world, but also oneness with the world and nature. A deepened connection to the meaning of life. In the words of one of the most famous yoga practitioners, B.S. Iyengar, yoga cultivates in day-to-day life.
Sangachadvam samvadadvam.
Representative of India to the UN, Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj. Also with His Excellency, Mr. Chaba Karoshi, who is the President of the United Nations General Assembly, and Mr. Eric Adams, who is the mayor of the city of New York. These dignitaries will address this gathering briefly, but after these remarks, we'll begin as a group our yoga lesson, and we'll all follow a common yoga teaching so that we can have a yoga practice and experience.
Okay.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.